People are definitely going to give me shit for wearing this Man City jersey, Aly.
I don't care. What's going on, everybody? I'm Aly.
And I'm Danny.
And today we're going to talk about if we were going to do content creation all over again, what are some things that we would do differently?
Starting at 0, no followers on TikTok, none on YouTube, no community on Twitch, nothing. If you just like, I want to start pursuing this as a career or something I enjoy on the side, how do we start?
I would first start by figuring out what you want to be named. So you can either use your regular name or just a name that you made up, and get all those handles on every single social media. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
We think it's very important. I think we kind of have a little bit of a different angle on this just because like a lot of our stuff is either Danny Bartok or Danny and Aly. But we've transitioned a lot of our like big accounts, our YouTube, our TikTok, all these things into Danny and Aly. But I also have like the Danny Bartok Twitch and I have the Danny Bartok TikTok that I do like gameplay stuff on.
Yeah, so at first I was Danny and Aly on TikTok, and Danny is Danny Bartok on Twitch, and he's Danny Bartok on Instagram and YouTube, but then we switched the YouTube to Danny and Aly.
We switched Instagram to Danny and Aly.
Yes.
We have a Danny and Aly TikTok, but primarily it's the Danny Bartok one that we post on.
Yes, we made sure that we also grabbed our own individual names. So we grabbed our name as a couple, we grabbed our own individual names, and then also our future names.
Here's a fun little tip. New platforms like Kick come out. If you like them or not, grab your name like we did.
Yes.
I have Danny Bartok. She has Danny and Aly. And because you never know.
As soon as Kick came out, even though we had like no intention of doing anything on there, we just got our username.
Well, just in general, right? If a couple of your friends, Daddy Gus streams there occasionally, I go over there and I talk. Like, you want to be under your name.
Well, my thought was that people could also take your name and then monetize themselves off of your name, even though they're not you.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
People have done that.
100% have done that. And like, these like, fan accounts or these spoof accounts of some of these
where they add
creators.
an extra A in the Danny and Aly and people think it's you, little things like that.
We've had issues with that. People literally just grabbing our videos and posting them.
Yeah. And then the second thing I would do is we also got our website name.
Yes. Website and, allowing us to like that costs $15 a year from like GoDaddy, right?
Well, any future ideas and plans that we thought we might have, we bought every single URL for these ideas. Like in case we wanted to start a company.
It's literally like $1.25 a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if one of them pans out that we use, like I have controllergang.com.
Because when Controller Gang was so hyped back then, you went on there and bought it.
And bought it because I was also like, thinking about starting like a little bit of like a blog page and all this stuff. Again, this was early, like when I just started into like streaming and gaming and stuff, right? And like there was this whole like Controller Gang, like Nick Merckx and Aiden and stuff. I was like, and I looked it up and it was available. I was like, I'm grabbing it, And I see even Scuff and I see like all these other bigger brands like, oh, Controller Gang. I'm like, that guy that you probably like, I wish we had that URL. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
right?
have it, But, I think it's big to you have to think about your branding when you start. And obviously rebranding happens along the way. I did it myself. I started as the Band-Aid Man and turned into Danny Bartok, right?
Yeah.
And then evolved into, once you got more involved in the content creation, it was Danny and Aly, and then it really just kind of formed into what it is. But I think it's good to have an idea of what you want to accomplish, right? I think trying to be as professional as possible, find, your number one brand that you eventually want to work with.
But you will figure out what you want to accomplish when you're doing it along the way, because
100%.
Things that we didn't know were opportunities, we learned that they could be opportunities. So I would say anything that in your realm that you're thinking of is not too far-fetched. If you want to do it, you can achieve it.
100%.
You need to dream big. And I know this is so stupid.
It's not stupid. It's just you have to actually have the goals, right, to then try to accomplish them. If you're just like, oh, I'm just here to hear, even if it's a hobby and you're just doing for fun, be like, how cool would it be if I had, 10 viewers, right? And I was having this conversation with one of my buddies recently, Dylan, who we're really trying to ramp up, trying content creation and to do more when Tarkov comes out and different things, right? And, he averages like 5, 6 viewers, maybe on sometimes a little higher to like 10, 13, right?
Yeah.
And we want to know what the next step for him. He has the time, he has the skill. By all means, he has the skill to do this, right? In gaming in general. And I really think when it comes down to just like applying yourself and having the right people to do it with, right? Surrounding yourself with the
Right people.
right
Yeah.
people. But not just that, it's just kind of like is the branding. We literally sat down in front of the computer on Discord for hours and we're like, what about this? What about this? You like this? We like this colors? You
But
like that colors?
don't mistake that you are allowed to change mid journey.
100%.
You can. But here's something that we need to take our own advice with this. You got to hear me out, Danny.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
Instead of comparing yourself to other people in social media, compare yourself to the you that you were last month. Fight against yourself and your goals, not
100%.
what other people are doing. Don't look at us and be like, oh, what they're doing, I want to know.
Yes.
Look at how you were last month and see if you could be better the next month. Fight against yourself, not other content creators.
So I don't think fighting is the right word. I think it's improving upon yourself, right? If you're just being a better you or a better content, you're like, it's the Mr. Beast approach, right? Like if you're 1% better every video, eventually you're going to be 100. After 100 videos, you're going to be 100% better than when you started, right? So it's constantly doing that. And when I explained to Dylan when we were talking, I think a lot of people would agree with this, right? Like right now on Twitch, I average from like 40 viewers, give or take, 40 to 50 viewers, right? If I, as a creator, averaged every week, I got one extra viewer that would be like a diehard viewer. 1 week, right? In 50 weeks, I would have 100 people in my stream.
Yeah. That's
one person. Mm-hmm. You just have to impress or have someone like you enough to come into your stream and then enjoy themselves enough that one person a week between your content on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, anything.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, there's a new person who stopped in our stream, The General. He's been here every single day since he stopped in. Met a really good person in the chat. They were talking, got along great. And do I think that the reason that they stayed was for us? Not sure, but I know they definitely stayed because of that person who was having conversation with them in our community. So other people have a factor in your growth as well. The people that you surround yourself by. And
that's where I always talk about having, again, I'm a broken record at this point. If you've been listening to all the podcasts, but it's, again, transitioning from a follower to a part of the community to, again, the family, which wants you to succeed and will be there every day. And whatever, right? So, like, I truly think that 40 people that no matter what I play are going to be there is the best core that I can ever ask for, right?
Yes.
If I miss someone coming in, it's always, they're having a conversation with them. They're like, hey, how you doing? What's up? How'd you find Danny? Well, those kind of interactions make people feel welcomed, right? And make people happy. And where maybe some people are not so like, out there and super conversational and maybe super, social, it allows people to then just be themselves, right?
Well, I also think there's different sections of followers. We've talked about this, but think about if we strictly did tech content and we're very professional with it, people would probably only follow us for the knowledge and tech content rather than our personality. So we went the personality approach and kind of tried to capitalize off us just being who we are. So again, that helps us because we don't ever have to put on an act with who we are. We don't ever have to change anything about us because we're just showing us.
I don't think anyone ever has to change someone. They do that to fit a niche, right?
I guess, yeah.
So I truly think there's a viewer for every streamer.
Oh, yeah.
I truly believe that, right? Like, again, I was talking to Dylan, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this because it was, again, a private conversation. But at the same time, it's like, look, like, I keep telling him that he has more to offer than he thinks, right? It's hard to really understand what you have to offer looking at yourself critically, right? And be like, oh, like, why would someone like that about me? I'm like, Dylan, you're funny. You may not think you're funny, but you know, the banter that me and you have, it's funny.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you say like, oh, I think face cams are better, but some people do great without face cams.
Yes.
Some people, you don't even know who they are and their streams are popping off. There is a streamer for everyone.
There is a stream for everybody, and maybe it's not the super energetic person that's like super over the top, and that's not Dylan. He's the complete opposite, right?
Dylan's just so good at video games.
He is, but again, he doesn't think of it that way. He's just like, why would someone come in and hang out? Like, I'm not that super out there over the top. Like, I'm just not. But people want that sometimes. People just want to come chill with someone that's cool, that they can go back and forth with and chat and enjoy their gameplay. And
I said that to you the other day. I was like, why would I go live if I'm not playing a game? And you were like, Aly, people just come in there to want to talk to you. So yesterday I was in my stream and someone just came in there and talked and vent. And I was like, I'm so happy that I can be there for someone. If I wasn't live there that day, they wouldn't have a place to, well, I don't know if they wouldn't have a place, but at least I gave them a place to talk and vent. And they were like, thanks for listening. I'm like, of course.
Yeah. People need that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's what I was talking about. That once you have a community that will be there no matter what, right? And it's not, you're not so worried about like what you play or what you do, right? Yes, I know a lot of people, my viewership goes down when I play League, but the people that are still there are the ones that just care about me, right? And they just want to like hang out with me and hang out, right?
But if you stopped doing things that you love to do, then that wouldn't be fun for you. Like just not playing League because your viewership goes down.
So this is a perfect example. When I was really trying to make partner, and I made sacrifices to get this, because again, Twitch doesn't give a shit if you're happy or not, right? They just care about numbers. So I did the thing that I knew wasn't the best thing for my stream, but I said, hey, F it, like let me run customs. I was doing Fortnite customs, doing COD customs, I was doing all kinds of customs, and the freaking rats that came out of the woodwork and try to play in these games and just to like make themselves or kill me early or whatever. But at the same time, my viewership was up at an all-time high. I was COD, sometimes I was at 250, 260. Like it was great.
Yeah, you can obviously do things.
And then once I got monetized, I was just like, I will never do that again because I was miserable.
Yeah. There are definitely things that we know that we could do to improve our viewership. We can improve all these things, but I don't think that is worth us falling out of love with what we're doing.
No.
It's just not.
Again, would I make that same decision again? I don't know. Because again, it did help me push over the top for partner. And at the time, there was a higher percentage.
But think about how many people were doing Twitch back then versus now. Everyone's trying to do it. So right now, the whole goal is if you're starting to social media, I think there's a huge aspect of getting lucky, and you really have to stay consistent with it because there are so many goddamn people doing it.
Yeah. So what I would say is that it's like a scratch off, or the lottery, right? You got to be in it to win it, right? So you have to actually be taking the steps. No one's just going to come to your stream randomly and be like, oh my God, you're the best ever.
Especially not now.
Especially not now. There's millions of people doing what we're doing and trying to beat me at what I do, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a competition between one another, right? Who's gonna be the most entertaining? Who's gonna be the again, entertaining is again what each viewer wants, right?
Yeah.
What might be entertaining to you might not be entertaining to me, and might not be entertaining to Joe Schmo. But
you were also talking about, so we were looking at Twitch and Kick categories about who are the top streamers in each categories and how many viewers they are. So if we go on Twitch, like you might be at the bottom of the page, but on Kick, you would be at the top of the game for some categories. So you also need to take into consideration of what platform you choose and what game you choose, because you need to look at the numbers.
Yeah. And so, like, for instance, when the other day when we play It Takes Two, like, we did pretty well on Twitch. We were ranked pretty high on that, like, It Takes Two page.
Oh, you checked?
Yeah.
Cool.
But if we were on Kick, we'd be in the #1 streamers.
See, that's...
So it's like, granted, who's really searching for It Takes Two on Kick?
But this is the thing that we need to take into consideration. Maybe a game is for Twitch and maybe a game is for Kick.
Maybe. But again, these things... where you decide to stream, where you decide to go to start, and all these things, again, that is what content you're trying to create. If it's, building
but would you tackle both? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
If you're just starting out streaming,
I don't know. I honestly don't. I think personally, if I was just starting, I would probably start on Kick.
Same.
But there's
I am just starting, but
but not really, because our community is on Twitch.
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
It's on Twitch. They know your username from Twitch. You're Danny and Aly in I'm on Twitch. It's kind of like a crossover,
Yeah.
right? But if you just started on Kick, it would be a little different, right? It'd be a lot different. But there's different aspects on Twitch that, again, Kick doesn't have. Like if you're just starting and you're streaming and you're using a lot of that content from stream for content, you can't just download a VOD. You can't make highlights on Kick. You can't do these things, right? So like, I don't know too much about the nitty gritty or when these things are coming on Kick, but they keep saying things are on the horizon and but I know for a fact the integration of like the clipping option on Twitch, I know clips are a thing on Kick, but again, just being able to download and create highlights and take pieces of your stream and then download them, that makes content creation so much easier for Twitch streamers, right? But again, there's the YouTube route where it's 70-30. You're creating content in the same spot you're streaming. That might be a thing, right? YouTube's a long-term platform that I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Right?
I wish that when we first started out content creation, I focused on taking that one video that I made for one platform and posted it everywhere. I think that would have gotten us ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So I think people need to make sure that when they're starting out content, you make a video outside the app so there's no watermark, because there are penalties now if you post videos with watermarks on other platforms. They're saying, hey, they literally notify you and it's like, hey, I won't push this because it has X watermark on it.
Yeah, so it's all about creating genuine, natural content that these platforms want independently on their own platform. They want to have YouTube content. They want to have their own Instagram content. They want to have their own TikTok content.
And then another thing we need to think about is that Danny and I will make posts and we think it's so funny. And we're like, maybe we shouldn't post this because everyone else might not think it's funny. It's not true, because someone will always
if you laugh, someone else will laugh. Because someone else, there's billions of people in the world.
You may not be speaking to the majority, but you're speaking to somebody.
Yes. And again, it comes back to just being yourself. You don't have to be anyone different than yourself, because I guarantee you're going to find people that
I think you'll get tired of
think about you also get tired of putting this act on, this thing, right? I don't know how Dr. Disrespect does it. I honestly don't. He puts this whole act on.
Do people even know what he looks like?
Yeah. Oh. It's like, he's a good looking dude. He's got a nice mustache.
Ooh.
But no, even honestly, you'll always find someone that likes you for you, right?
Yes.
And it's a really crazy to think, but like even the really shitty people in the world that are just honestly, there's gonna be people that share your thoughts and your thing. And as fucked up as it sounds, no matter who you are your thoughts, or your stances on things or whatever, I guarantee you will find someone with the same as you, and they will be your friend, and they will come to your streams. You just got to put yourself out there to find them.
Yeah.
Right. And it might take years. We streamed and posted, and I did stuff for years and no success.
I mean, nothing pisses me off more when someone comes in and they say, oh, I've been doing this for 2 weeks. It's not just going to, it could happen instantly, but it's not going to. If you don't put in the work for a long time, nothing's going to happen. But don't come in here and complain that 2 to 3 weeks, nothing's happening.
I'm going to say something that could be
cancelable.
No, not that far. But today's day and age, this whole babying your kids and participation medals and all you deserve the world, honey, and all these things, I'm like, I can't do it. Like, the way I grew up is like, look, it's a winning mentality, right? You put everything you got into it and you try your best, right? And if you don't win, you have to look at what you did wrong, make yourself better, and come back again, right? And it's the not giving up and not going, right? But like nowadays, I feel like your mom and your dad are like, oh yeah, dude, you're gonna be like an astronaut. Like my parents were just like, look, put the work in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's the same aspect of things getting handed to you. When you had your setup, people are like, oh, daddy's money. Oh, you didn't work for that. I
worked a full-time job, and the income that I was getting from a stream, I reinvested it into my equipment and into posts and all these things. And it was just, it's crazy to think that like nowadays that's people, if it's not instant satisfaction, right? It's like, oh, I posted a video. Like I spent 2 hours on this and I got 14 views. All right, like change it up. post it again. Maybe the algorithm didn't pick it up this time. Like I don't know. We sometimes get caught up with like, oh, we spent so much time on this, but like, F it, we're on to the next one, right?
And I stayed proud of that video. I stayed proud of that
because it's like
shit.
we're improving ourselves. Like you can even see in our last content with like the Ally Rogue stuff and like the bag over my head and all these. Like, we're trying to do things different, right? Like we get like we watch a bunch of videos on TikTok. We consume as much as we give out, right, on TikTok. And there's aspects of people's videos that we're like, holy shit, I wish we could do that. Let's try to figure out how to do that. This is so awesome.
We need to learn a new editing app. And then also like taking all the people's comments and trying to find a general idea of what everyone's asking and then form a video off of that. So nothing pisses me off more than, well, I don't mind people taking inspiration from your content because we take inspiration from other creators, but copying something verbatim, word for word, that's where I get frustrated because we do spend a lot of time thinking about our wording and choosing it carefully. Like the ROG Ally, you guys caught on to the wording. We were like, oh, I didn't buy it for myself. And like we kept rehearsing and making sure that we were putting these key words in there. And you guys picked up on what we were trying to do, which was funny. But you have to put some thought into the things that you're doing and make sure that you're listening to your audience as well.
Yeah.
But also doing what you want to do.
Yes. But to go back to the copying thing and taking inspiration from people are two different things, right?
Yes.
And I want to elaborate that because there was a couple that, again, I'm not going to drop names, that was literally taking our videos and ideas and using the exact same words and posting it like 1 or 2 days after we would post it.
Yeah.
And it got us frustrated because it's like, okay, whatever. They're taking our ideas. That's one thing. But then we had people that just because the algorithm would see their post first and then our second and wouldn't put the timeline together. And they'd be like, dude, you're copying these people.
And
I'm
then
like,
when people would comment on their videos, hey, you're copying Danny and Aly, they would delete it. And so then that's how you kind of know that they were
obviously seeing it,
but
right?
We put our videos side by side, and when the woman was talking, I was talking. She said the same exact thing, and then Danny, same exact thing.
It was,
and I didn't appreciate
identical.
that. Yeah,
and
like the expression of a whoa.
Yes, at the time we were seeing success, so they were like, oh, whatever they're doing must work. Let's do it, right? But at the same time, I swear to you, they would be so much more successful. They maybe use the same topics, the same stuff, but they bring their own personality.
Yeah.
Right? So even because what they're showing is me, right? Or you, not themselves. Okay. And you can't tell me they're the exact same person, right? As us, right? So at the same time, when just starting, there's no problem with using other people's posts as inspiration, right? Someone does a tech review on the Rogue Ally doesn't mean you can't do a tech review on the Rogue Ally because someone did it already.
Yeah.
You can do it as well and give people your own thoughts. You just bring your own personality. Again, there's always two things that you're giving your audience at all times, right? They're giving them content, right? With whatever your tech or video games or cooking or whatever. But then the second part is always your personality. And if you're doing that, no matter if the message of the tech or this one message doesn't go through, the personality will always be there, right?
See, there's a content creator, Low. Everyone's always like, oh, you're copying Low, you're copying Low. Not to us, but other content creators, the style. He invented this kind of style of you know when you see it, and other content creators are doing that as well. I don't think that's copying.
See, but I don't think he invented it. I think he just made it awesome.
Yeah.
He brought it to the platform and the way of editing and these lifestyle stuff and the way he brought that to the platform. That existed elsewhere.
Do you think copying the way someone edits is
no?
Yeah.
Because again, it just brings out your personality. I see people all the time, again, that kind of cuts and it keeps you so engaged and so on top of it. And
if I could do it, I would do it.
Well, that's the thing. There's these young kids that are starting to learn and figure it out.
And they're doing great.
But again, that doesn't make them low.
Low's
low because he's fucking low, right? And I look at his video and I can't not watch it. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Right? And to be able to do that, that's what gets Nadeshot's attention. And that's what it's like, holy shit, this guy, it's so immersive, right? And then his apartment and all these things and all the,
it's funny.
The car stuff. Like it's it's intriguing.
But here's the thing. You said that's what gets Nadeshot's attention. I didn't know what we were doing would get people's attention, but HyperX, we got their attention by literally being us.
And being honest. The post they commented on was like, look, let's make something happen, was us literally opening up to you guys, asking us when we would go full time. We were very successful on Twitch for like 3, 4, 5 months in a row. Everyone's like, dude, why aren't you going full time? Like, why are you still working your job? But I'm like, because I'm earning money there and I'm earning money here, and I want to save up for a future and a home that we're currently in, right? Like, we had a plan.
I mean, I think though, being completely honest, if we quit when everyone quit our jobs, when everyone said, "Oh, why didn't you quit?" we wouldn't have made it. I don't think so. We would have made it work somehow, but
yes, but like, we are in a lot better spot now because we were able to save so much, right?
Yes.
Especially in the content creation world, when income starts to be a thing. Not so much when you're streaming, because that income comes on the same day every month.
Yeah.
If you hit that threshold that they pay you out. I think on Twitch it's like $100 or $50 now or something like that. But in general, right? Like, it went from side income to like real income. And then when it became real income, we didn't just like jump ship.
Personally,
like, 1 second.
Okay.
We didn't jump ship. We sat down, had a real conversation between both of us. And we're like, look, what's the plan here, right? We were like, we make this amount of money, you know, on our everyday job. We're making this money recently, right? It's been great, but we're doing both, and we're being successful doing both. Let's keep doing it for now and save as much money as possible, right? And then once it came time when we were looking for homes, and then we were like found one. Originally, we were looking for a home. It was going to be a year build time because we were going to buy a new home and they were going to build it for us. We ended up coming down here, finding one that was like 7 months or 8 months done. And it was only going to be like 2 or 3 months left in the build. So we're like, holy shit, this is perfect. And then that's what sped up the thing. We would have probably been doing what we were doing both for another year if we didn't find the home we're in now.
And here's something, this is a personal opinion. Please take it with a grain of salt. But if our kid that we somehow, you know, in the future says to us, hey, I want to do content creation, and, you know, they're 16, 17, I would tell them, you need to get a job and do that on the side, just like we did. I don't think throwing your eggs in one basket with content creation is the way to go. And I will stand by that, because it is possible. It just depends on how hard you want it to hold a full-time job and also do this on the side.
I had this conversation with my sister recently too. She's older than me. But I had this conversation with her, and she's like kind of in the middle of figuring out what she wants to continue to do. She has her passions. She has her things the same way like streaming became my passion. And again, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was done with college, and I decided, you know, start working, and then I ended up in an IT spot and all these things, right? But like, she is in the middle of like, I want to do something I love to do. I'm like, okay. She's like, I was like, then how about you do this and you just do it on the side? Oh, but I want to do that for work.
But
I'm
you
like,
might
whoa.
need to do something that you don't love to do what
Do
you
what you love
to
to do. Exactly. So I was like, look, Aly, Britt is her name, Brittany. I was like, Brittany, do you remember when for 5 years I was working a job that I didn't necessarily hate, but like I didn't love, right?
Yeah.
And I worked it every single day. I worked like 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And I came home, and then I enjoyed myself doing what I love to do. But then I continued to craft what I love to do and grew what I love to do. And then it became a business, right? But you act like, you know, I didn't just start by doing that and like throw them all in my, like your eggs in one basket. I was like, I worked a job. I did side stuff. I made fucking lamps. I worked at a car dealership on the weekends. I did all these crazy things.
We did things that we didn't want to do so that we could do what we love to do.
It's the same way of like having a hobby, right? Like of golfing, right? You work your ass off during the day of maybe a job you don't really like to be able to hit the links later in the week or during the weekend. But it's the same concept. Like, you work to do what you love to do sometimes, and that's okay to start as long as you dedicate yourself on your free time, right? Like, you can find jobs nowadays online or somewhere like a 9 to 5 or like a 6 to fucking 2, right? And you come home, and from like 3 to 11, you can be grinding and doing whatever you need to do in content creation or stuff, and you have money to pay. You're never stressed about like where the next paycheck's coming from, because you're getting that guaranteed
Yeah.
income, right? And then once you again make that transition of content creation, finding brand deals and stuff that can be consistent income, that's when we decided to then say, okay, this is the time we're gonna give it a try, right? A good honest try. We had money saved up for a year of just, if God forbid no income came in,
Yeah,
right?
but Danny, hear me out. We're talking to people who we assume have no other responsibilities outside of work. There are people who have families and other things and think about them pursuing their dreams. But honestly, I can't really put myself in that position because people are like, oh, try doing this when you have kids. We didn't have kids for that
Yes.
reason. And I also was a nanny during the day. And to know how attentive I needed to be for them, if we had kids coming back home, it most likely wouldn't have been as doable.
Yep.
We would make it work somehow, but I don't know what the strain would have been
Yep.
on our relationship. And
So for us, obviously having a significant other in the situation with like we had to have these conversations, right?
yes,
But like for the average young kid, young guy that wants to get into streaming, young girl that wants to get into streaming, it's a little easier to make these decisions because you're by yourself, right? But when we started to really make these moves, like we were almost at the end of college, going into like we're done, we were just working, right? We were like, what's next in our lives? Like I knew I was going to end up with you, right? And like we were going to get like engaged and married and all these things, but like I don't we didn't know what was next, right? But we had to have those conversations. We had to have those honest things like, look, like, yeah, we could have had a kid by now. We could have.
Yeah.
No problem, right? But at the same time, it's like, do we really want to do that to ourselves, or do we want to try to pursue something that can be something bigger than where we're at now, right?
I mean, yeah, we could have kept our full-time jobs, maybe figured out a house there and had a kid and did that instead of this, but we're trying, like, we have to try to make our dreams work, because if we don't do it now, we're going to regret
myself.
it. Yeah.
I'll kick myself. So that's where we're at, right? Like
It's now or never
it's
type
now
thing.
or never. So we're trying to lock in some like 2-year deals and some stuff that really would like
Change our lives,
right? And if that happens, like I would feel more comfortable about again starting a family and doing these things. But again, hearing these comments from people about like, oh, you're not in our situation. I'm not.
Because I didn't put myself
But I
there.
didn't put myself in that situation, right? Like I didn't lock myself down with like all these responsibilities and things. Like I love fucking dogs. I love them.
Yeah.
And this is again a very minuscule situation, but like I love dogs.
We
But
know
at the
we
end of the
can't have
day,
one.
we can't have one. And because
we wouldn't have been able to pick up on a dime and get that
and
paycheck.
go to California, right?
Like-
we literally got asked from TikTok to go fly out the next day to California for this like meet and greet thing, and for them to pick our brains about being creators and all these things. I'm like, okay, imagine we had a dog or we had all these different responsibilities, or a cat, or these things. No, like we don't want to tie ourselves down. We don't want to be restricted right now. And again, travel and being, having that flexibility helps us in our position, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a point when I want a kid. Like I know it. And
I
I want a
want
kid
one.
now.
I've wanted
But
one.
again, it's once we lock in these opportunities that again doesn't restrict us, doesn't make us travel much, doesn't do all these things, but again pays us monthly and consistent income.
Yeah.
That's what you want to strive for.
Because I mean, it's one thing to fuck around with our future, but a child that we want to have, absolutely not. I'm just not doing it.
No, I agree. So all in all, when just starting, you're making all these decisions. Again, you're not going to make a decision if you want a kid or not, or you want to make content creation. You're just starting. It's a hobby, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking more to the primarily of just like the young person that is trying to figure out if they want to be a content creator or go into normal work, right? Again, I would agree with you. I would think some type of work, even if it's a part-time gig, is good.
Yeah.
Consistent income as a young person, saving that.
It also takes the stress off of you being your success.
Yes. And then, nothing comes off worse than like a streamer that's asking for subs. Like there's, it makes me literally crawl up on the inside and like die. Like I hate when it's like, oh dude, I've been here for like, I only have this amount of subs. Like that's fucking wild. Like I hate people like that. I do. Right. So like when you're just starting, we talked about branding, right? We talked about getting yourself situated, what your goals was, what content you're going to try to make and stuff. Again, these things will change.
Yeah.
But again, the way I see it, setting yourself up to put yourself on a billboard, that logo that you decide to have next to your favorite brand, of hopefully working with them one day. That's the kind of branding I would want you to try to pursue, right?
Make a list of goals, achieve them, write down brands that you love.
And again, one person a week that you can try to retain through social media, to your stream. It could be, one person that really likes your content. It could be 10 followers or 100 followers a week or something of that sort. I know it's a lot, but again, if you're pumping content on all these social medias, I guarantee you're going to find people that enjoy you, but don't forget about to show your personality.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, after you start to grow and gain traction, again, it's again showing your audience that you care. And I think this is where I lacked a little bit moving forward. I think in the beginning, my goal when I saw streamers, I was like, look, everyone's stream is extremely simple. I can be more, right?
Yeah.
I can be different. I can make people be entertained when coming to my stream, right? And once I think I just fell off of that feeling of trying to constantly improve and constantly do stuff. And it was impulsive last night, but like I bought a green screen. Like I just said, F it. I bought a green screen that mounts my wall on the opposite wall for my camera. I'm going to get another camera on the other side of the room, and I'm going to start creating content that makes me different, right? And just striving to be more entertaining on stream and not just sit there and play video games, because I have it in me.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of got caught in this whole just repetitive, like, let me just go on and play CS, let me go on and play League, let me go on and play Tarkov, like, and I just gotta, but like, it's more than that. Like, people come in there, and then once I see like the attention to detail some of these streamers, like Dr. Disrespect, put into their everyday broadcast, it makes me like, holy shit, like there's a difference between him and me. Yes, it's like popularity and all these things, but he just, at the end of the day, cares so much about what his viewers see and the experience they have in his stream. Like, I want to just subscribe. Like, I want that, right? And if you can have that, you can make people feel that, they're going to want to come back and see what's next on.
Okay,
right?
Don't kill me for this next statement, but
Okay.
I think people are going to think you sound really pretentious when you said, F it, I just bought a green screen. I think sometimes we come off as if we have unlimited disposable
Aly,
money.
a green screen could be a green sheet that you get from Marshalls
what
for
I'm saying
$4.
Is can you do all these things without spending a bunch of
100%.
money?
Fuck yeah, you can. Hell yeah, you can.
People are like, oh, well, I don't have a PC. I don't have a camera. I don't have this.
Look, part of our thing is an over-the-top setup. I paid for little to none of it, right? Some, half, maybe.
We'll do a video on that.
We'll do a video. But look, at the end of the day, right, there's always alternatives. People are like, someone came into my stream the other day and says, hey, what should I upgrade next? My camera or
a foot pedal?
Foot pedal. I was like, dude, whatever camera you have, perfectly fine. Buy lighting, buy a foot pedal for $20. So you just stop annoying your team in game. Okay.
Yeah.
And go from there. Like, you don't need any spectacular camera like my Sony that you're using, like I'm using here.
But people see your stuff and they see your success and they think that your stuff also equals your success, that you can only be successful with your stuff. And
first came viewership, first came sponsorships, first came all of these things. The setup comes second, right? Like, I had the same monitor until I was sponsored by HyperX from the first monitor I ever purchased for my console, before I realized, oh my God, I shouldn't be gaming on TV. I should be gaming on a monitor, right? And that Samsung monitor was the same monitor that I used as a side monitor to just before I was sponsored by HyperX, and they supplied me with 5 monitors.
Yes.
Right? 6 monitors.
Would we have all these things without it? No.
No. I would continue to have had the same setup I had, right? I spent $120 on each of the side monitors one month when I first started, and then like 8 months down the road, another one, and then maybe another 4 or 5 months down the road, I bought the top one, right?
So would you think it's fair to say that good content doesn't equate to the stuff that you have? You can also make good content without
great content without spending money. You can create great content because, again, your personality is freaking free. It's free. Like, you think like Kai and
Speed
had money to start. No, they're fucking entertaining. They
Yeah.
brought the energy. They put their personality out there. Craziness. Maybe the right place, right time. The rat runs behind. Whatever. But like, fuck, man. Like, they're entertaining. And then now, yeah, their setups correspond with maybe the money they're making. But like, my setup doesn't correspond with the money we make. But at the same time, all the like the computers were free, the monitors were free, the keyboard and mouse free, the mouse
but we
pad
also
free.
paid for them in our
Efforts
platform
and time
that we built up.
Correct. But again, actual hard-earned money, like, hey Danny, you have 5 monitors that are worth $400 each. Like, do you need that? No, I don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You just don't. But like, for your main monitor, fuck yeah, get a HyperX monitor. It's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
But like, do I need them as my peripheral monitors? No. But I'm sponsored by them, so they gave them to me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you just need something that 60 hertz and 1080 and you're chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like,
it's freaking crazy how companies just give you free stuff.
yeah,
It
but again,
blows my
they
mind.
want to.
But you also earned that in building up your account.
That. We you gotta get that through your head. It's a we thing, not an I thing.
I know.
But yes, it's crazy to think. But again, there's so many options out there of creating content. There's so many things that can be content. You know,
I think it's just how bad you want it.
It's how bad you want it and how open you will be to let people into your lives. Because again, that connection is what makes it for us, right? And letting them in, talking like this, being fully transparent, having those posts that I'm like, look, I don't want my viewers to pay my bills. That's why I'm not going full time. I really do appreciate all the kindness and the gifteds and all these things, and I will appreciate you time and time again. But I don't want to rely on those people to pay my bills.
And that transparency
was never our goal. Right?
Changed our lives.
And that transparency allowed me to
have a brand
reach out and say, let's figure this out. I know you care about HyperX, and I do, and I did. And 6 months of figuring it out, and then the fine details of the contract, boom.
Yeah.
Year contract. They pay me monthly, and I'm blessed to be in the situation I'm in. And you know, I want to continue working with them. I love the brand. I love everyone behind the scenes. It's just like literally the perfect brand. And the content's natural. I love their products anyway. So it just makes it easy.
Yeah.
Right? So again, finding your niche, finding your stuff, like where you feel happy and just run with it. Right? It might not happen overnight. It might not. But if you're happy with the posts you're making, I guarantee the right people will eventually be.
Agreed.
It'll be in front of them, right? Like, just because you post a video and it doesn't get put in front of the right eyes the first time doesn't mean you did something wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like, just because you tried something and it didn't work out the first time, try it fucking 20 times.
Yeah.
Try it, because you never know if it goes in front of the right person or the right type of people. Next thing you know, that one post that you posted 2 weeks ago went dog shit, but the one you posted 2 weeks later, same kind of content, maybe just change it up just a little bit.
Repost it with different fucking music.
Exactly. Just
honestly.
try it, right? And then next thing you know, it's in front of the right people. They like it, they follow, and next thing you know, you got that one that one viewer that's gonna stay that week, right?
Yep.
But again, 100 weeks, you retain one person every week. You put your fucking best foot forward for 100 weeks. I know it's a lot, but then you could be a streamer with 100 viewers, and that is massive on all platforms. I don't care what you say. Oh, you're not like a Nick Merckx or Tim the Tatman or a Landmark or any of these.
You're never going to be any of those. There's only one of you.
You're only going to be one of you, and you got to show people you, and you got to be you, and never stop being you. And the right people will want to hang out with you.
Yep.
They don't want to hang out with a fake XQC. They don't want to fucking hang out with a fake Tim the Tatman.
Yep.
They want to hang out with you because they're you, because you're you. So
and me.
Yes.
And they,
so
yeah.
all in all, just starting off, it's difficult. You can't expect results instantly. It's not a thing, right? But that's where our path, it worked out for us, because again, we had our passions, we did them, right? But then when we came home, we fucking worked and we put our balls to the wall and we got posts done and we streamed and we put hours in. And if anyone fucking second guesses us, check my Twitch tracker you will see all of the days I streamed, and there's going to be all of them lit up. Occasional here, occasional there. 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
There was times we were doing 24-hour streams that turned into 30-hour streams just because I had the fucking energy. We put the time in, right?
You did.
But we also were responsible adults. We got our fucking job done. There was days when I had to do a 24-hour stream and I had to squeeze it in on the weekends. Guess what I did? I fucking stayed up all night Friday. What was it? I stayed up.
No, you slept all day.
Oh, that's what it was.
Slept all day.
So I got home from work. I slept all day until Saturday morning. And then streamed from 24 hours Saturday morning to Sunday morning. And then I slept.
Yep.
I tried to stay up as much as I could, slept, and then woke up on Monday morning and went to work.
Yep. But
the crazy part is, like, my coworkers were like, how's the 24-hour stream? Yeah. You okay, buddy? You need a coffee? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, it was one of those things, like, that's the enjoyment that I miss. Just grinding and just getting on and trying to be entertaining.
We have to grind, but a different type of grind. And I don't know how, but we're going to figure it out. I want
to continue to do this stuff. I want to do reaction videos. I want to do things. I want to get a game plan, right?
Yeah.
And I think a game plan is super important. Also, schedule, super important. Staying consistent, super important. Having a place for people to go. And again, in the beginning, like when you're just starting, I wouldn't be streaming as much. If you're using some of the stuff that you're doing on stream as content, like your long-term content on YouTube, if you're doing like one gun challenge on Apex or whatever it may be, fine. But like if you're just creating content about your setup and your overlays and all of these different things, your personality, you don't need to be streaming as much because you don't have an audience that's going to come and watch you just yet.
Yeah.
So focus on social media, focus on posting, getting an audience, and again, that one viewer or that one person that you're joining your community that believes in what you're doing, that's all you want. Those are the people that you focus on. Don't focus on the haters. Don't focus on the BS guys. Because again, there's going to be shitty people that come into your comments to say, dude, you're nothing. You have 0 followers. Like, give up. Like, we deal with it even today, right? But at the same time, those people have issues and they're sad human beings that literally just suck. And there's nothing good's going to come from responding to them, right? It's always the retaliation that gets the slap on the hand, on the wrist, right? So it's like, look, some Joe Schmo 69 says, you know, Danny, you're an ugly fuck. I'm like, dude, thanks for being here. Thanks for the view, dude. Appreciate you. Or I should just like, fuck you and just keep it moving, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the end of the day, it's not worth your time. It's not a fight worth fighting because there's a bunch of negative Nancys out there that are constantly going to tear you down. But the best way to fucking shit on them is to do the work, grow, and then the next time these people see you and be like, they're going to be like, holy shit, I told this guy to go fuck himself or to give up. Fuck that kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be looking at you and be like, I'll just lurk, you know, maybe I changed my username so he doesn't remember me and join, you know. Happens all the time.
Keep proving the people wrong.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, be yourself, create content that you love. And I guarantee over time, it'll eventually find itself in front of other people's eyes that also enjoy it. And that's where your community will start. That's where the growth will begin. But again, it's not an overnight success. It doesn't happen. Very rarely, right? But you just got to put the work in, grind it out. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, you can come into either of our streams. Danny Bartok on Twitch,
and
Danny and Aly on Twitch, and come and hang out, ask questions. We love to help. If you have any questions or topics you would like to talk about, we can talk about in later podcasts, please leave them below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so you get notified the next time we open a podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and we love you, appreciate you. You have another code word that they want to say at the end?
Chocolate nuggets.
Chocolate nuggets in the comments, please. And we know the truers, not the people that just copy the word and put it in the comments. Okay, so we love you guys, and again, we appreciate you.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Sir. Ow! Every fucking time.